Hello everyone, welcome to this wonderful session. This is part 5 of chapter Plant Kingdom. In this part we will discuss general characteristics of gymnosperms and we will take specific examples of Cycas and Pinus. We will discuss life cycle of gymnosperm, economic importance of gymnosperms, and then we will see classification of gymnosperms. This is regarding gymnosperm, part 5. Gymnosperm, the meaning of gymnosperm is naked seeded plants, naked seeded tracheophytes these are. Tracheophytes means in which the vascular tissue is present, and naked seeded means what? You are familiar with the covered seeded plant, that this is mango. Inside mango the seed is there, the seed is inside the fruit, and such type of plants are known as angiosperms. But on other side, what we mean by gymnosperm? Gymnosperm here, the seeds are not inside the fruit, seeds are naked, these are exposed, therefore these are known as naked seeded plants. These are popularly therefore known as naked seeded vascular plants. Vascular means because they have the vascular tissue, that is xylem and phloem are present in these xylem and phloem. 𝕍𝕀𝔻 is one of the scientists. He called gymnosperm as phanerogames without ovary. In gymnosperms, the flower and ovaries are absent and therefore the fruit is not formed. Therefore, these are known as phanerogames without ovary. This is smallest group of plant kingdom. You have to remember it. Most of the gymnosperms, these are perennial. They live for many more years. These are woody plants. Either these are shrubs or trees. One important point here is there is no herb in gymnosperm. All are woody plants. Aphytra is one of the plants which is climber, and some of the gymnosperms, they are very large, largest trees these are, and they live thousands of years. For example, one is sequoia. Unlike bryophytes and pteridophytes, gymnosperm doesn't have male and female gametophyte which are independent or free living one. Very important point this is. In case of bryophyte and pteridophyte, in case of bryophyte, the main and dominating plant is gametophyte, and that is on this the sporophyte will be there, which is also depending upon gametophyte. The same case we have in case of pteridophytes. In pteridophytes, that the main plant body is sporophyte, and that is the gametophytic stage is also having independent existence. But in case of gymnosperm, unlike these bryophyte and pteridophytes, the male and female gametophytes are there, but they do not have independent existence. They are totally depending upon sporophyte. Very important point. In gymnosperm, the taproot system is present. Cycas has special corolloid roots which have association with the Anabaena cycadae, a blue-green algae, cyanobacteria. It shows symbiotic relationship, and in that way there is in position to fix atmospheric nitrogen. The leaf in case of gymnosperms, for example in case of Pinus, the leaf is simple like this, while in case of Cycas, the leaves is compound, that is it is divisible, the pinna is divisible into, leaf is divisible into leaflets, or small pinna. The leaves may be simple or it may be compound. And very important point is this, that the leaves of the gymnosperm are well adapted. They can withstand extreme of temperature, humidity and wind. In case of Pinus, the leaves are needle shaped and the scale leaves are also present on stem. Very important point is the leaves are in position to tolerate extreme of temperatures. Stem is woody, as I told you. It may be branched, as in case of Pinus and citrus, or it may be unbranched. These are some common gymnosperm you are seeing here. This is cycas. The cycas plant is like this. That is, this is the unbranched stem, and at the tip of this, these are the pinnately compound leaves. While in case of cycas, the stem is very much branched. That is main stem. These are the branches here. Branches of that is long, that is length, and the branches of that is small length, dwarf shoot this is. In case of zingo also you can see this is the long shoot and these are the dwarf shoots. The stem is very much branched. Come to the reproduction in gymnosperm. These are heterosporous. Heterosporous, you know the meaning. They produce two type of spores. That is small spore known as microspore, and the bigger one is known as megaspores. Where these spores are formed? These are formed on sporophyll, the vegetative leaf that will become, that is reproductive leaf, and is known as sporophyll. The microsporophyll and that is the megasporophyll. Two type of sporophylls, very important point this is. These are usually aggregated to form compact cone 𝕍𝕀𝔻𝕼. The male cone is known as pollen cone and the female cone is known as seed cone. I may summarize you here that these are the, that is microsporophyll. They will be arranged, that is in cone shaped structure like this, and in that way a cone shaped structure will be formed, which is known as that is male cone. Important thing here is male cone is found in all gymnosperms, but female cone is absent in case of cycas. Cycas doesn't have female cone. The megasporophyll, they do not aggregate to make female cone. In case of cycos, that is megasporophyll, they do not aggregate. The megasporophyll, they bear the, that is ovule, and they do not make, that is the female cone. Microsporophyll, they do not show distinction of filament anther. You know that is filament anthers that is found in stamen, and stamens are found in case of angiosperms. The microspores, they develop into male gametophyte. That this is the male cone here in cycas, that is male gametophyte. Male gametophyte, this is highly reduced one because it has to make male gamete here, and it is confined to only few limited number of cells. The reduced male gametophyte is called as pollen grain. The pollen will be released from the male cone, and by wind that will be pollinated, and ultimately that will come to the micropyle of ovule. This is micropyle of the ovule that will come here. So here this is pollination by wind. Megasporophyll, these are not making carpels, they are not rolled up. These are simple leaf-like structure, and these are arranged in cone in most of the cases. Therefore, distinction of ovary, style, and stigma is absent. These structures are found in case of angiosperm. Ovule, you see, ovule is megasporangium. It is exposed on megasporophyll. It is not enclosed inside the ovary. Each ovule is surrounded by a three-layered single integument. But in case of NEETum, which is highly evolved one, the ovule is having two, that is integuments. This one is bitechmic one. Female gametophyte contains archegonia, but archegonia are absent in highly evolved members like nettles. Archegonia are absent. Presence of archegonia is primitive character. You know archegonia that was found in case of bryophyte, in case of pteridophyte, and in case of that is gymnosperms. You can see some that is beautiful figures we have. This is cycas. It is having male cone. In cycas, the male cone you are seeing that may be even up to 1 meter. The largest male cone is found in case of cycas. This is the megasporophyll of cycas. Megasporophyll, this one is, you know that this megasporophyll here, these are not making cone. This is modified vegetative leaf known as sporophyll now, because it makes the megaspores, megasporangium or ovule. That's why this is known as megasporophyll. In case of pinus, this is the female cone, and that is on, that is longer branches towards the tip, that is male cones are found. Here in case of pinus, male cone as well as female cones are present. Now if you see that is the structure again here. This is the megasporophyll, you know, megasporophyll, this one is megasporophyll, and this megasporophyll, this is the ovule, or that is ovule later on after fertilization will become seed. This is pinnately compound leaf. The structure of the ovule is very typical one. This is the structure of typical gymnospermic ovule. This is the integument. One integument is there, and this is made up of 3 layers, outer, middle and inner, which surround the central mass from all the sides, except a hole is left. That hole is known as micropyle. That is, inside this tissue is known as endosperm, very important one. Endosperm, that is also known as female gametophyte. Endosperm is also known as female gametophyte. It is having haploid number of chromosome. That is the space in between micropyle and this endosperm, that is a small chamber like structure is there, which is known as pollen chamber. And you see now, that is in female gametophyte, that is archegonia. Let this is the female gametophyte here, endosperm here you are seeing here. So here the archegonia are present. These are the archegonia. You see, archegonia are found in case of bryophytes and pteridophytes also. The important feature here is archegonia, it is having, that is egg is there. This is egg. That is one venter canal cell is present, which is ephemeral, which is short-lived, and in neck, that is neck canal cells, these are absent. I repeat, this is the swollen base known as egg, that is enter, that is known as venter, and in venter the egg is present. One venter canal cell is present, which is short-lived one, and neck doesn't have neck canal cells. We are seeing that this is endosperm. This endosperm, very important point here is, endosperm in case of gymnosperm, this is haploid, and this is formed before fertilization. Very important point. It has come in examination many more times. It is formed before fertilization, it is formed, and the tissue in which the endosperm is present, that is known as nucellus. Nucellus, it consists of endosperm, and endosperm that consists of archegonia. The number may vary. Now see, the pollination is direct. What we mean by pollination is direct? You see, in case of angiosperm, that this is the ovary, this is the stigma, and that is this is the ovary, this one is stigma. The pollen will be pollinated on, that is stigma. That pollen will land on stigma. That type of pollination is called as indirect pollination. Important point here is, in case of gymnosperm, that this is the ovule here, and this is the, that is mouth of the ovule or the micropyle, and this micropyle, that is on this the pollen will come direct. The pollination is direct because the stigma is absent here. Pollen grain directly reaches to the micropylar end of the ovule. And again, important point here is, that is pollination is usually accomplished by when it is anemophily, because other mode of pollination are absent in case of gymnosperm. This is one of the reason, that is as compared to angiosperm, gymnosperms is not a successful group. Come to the next now, male gametophyte. How the male gametophyte will be formed? That is, that pollen grain is the male gametophyte. It has two, that is, it produces two male gametes or so-called sperms. Usually one is functional out of these two. They do not need water. The sperm doesn't need water. External water is not required because these are not flagellated. But in case of cycas, you see, in case of cycas, that is the male gamete is flagellated. You have to remember, in case of cycas, male gamete is, that is flagellated one. That's why it needs water. It needs flagellated and it needs, that is water. What happens? That is here you see in this reference, that this is the body of the ovule. That is the pollen that is micropyle we have. This one is the micropyle here, and on micropyle the pollen will come, and pollen will make this, it will germinate, will make the pollen tube. Here is the archegonium, where near to this the male gamete will be released, and that is male gamete will like to fuse with egg. This is repeated again. That is formation of pollen tube. Instead of pollen tube is formed here, and formation of pollen tube by this male gametophyte, that is which will make the fertilization time to come. That is known as siphonogamy. Right? What happens now? The seed contains food-laden tissue, that is endosperm, and you see this is endosperm. Here, let in this archegonium, the zygote is formed. The zygote will develop into, that is embryo, and embryo that it take food from the endosperm. Seed, this is the ovule that will become, which was the ovule now. After fertilization, the ovule has become seed, and this in seed, see, it contains the food inside in the form of endosperm. This is for, that is future growth, right, of embryo. The tissue represents the female gametophyte, and this is haploid. As I told you, it is present in ovule even before fertilization. You see, in case of pteridophytes, that is regarding vascular tissue, I told you that the xylem and phloem are present, but the xylem doesn't have vessels. Vessels are absent in, that is gymnosperm. I told you in pteridophytes also the xylem is present. That was also without xylem vessels. But a few members, nettles, which are close to, that is angiosperm, advanced gymnosperm, these are, the vessels are present, primitive type of vessels are present. The same thing we have, that the phloem is without companion cells. Instead of companion cells in gymnosperm, albuminous cells are present, which will do the function of, that is companion cell. Sieve tubes are also formed at, that is, as the sieve cells are not arranged to end here. You see, this is a very important feature we have. If we compare, that is angiosperm and gymnosperm, you are well acquainted with gymnosperm. That is how to compare gymnosperm with angiosperm now. That is here, that is xylem vessels in case of gymnosperm. Yes, gymnosperm, xylem vessels are absent. In case of angiosperm, xylem vessels are, that is present. On other side, that is it has, that is sieve cells are present here. Instead of cells, that is sieve cells are arranged in form of tube. These are known as sieve tubes are present in case of angiosperm. And here in case of angiosperm, that is these are the companion cells, and these companion cells, that is these are replaced in case of gymnosperm by, that is albuminous cell. You have to remember these differences in vascular tissue, right? Vascular tissue, these are arranged into vascular bundle just like angiosperm, and because vascular bundle in between xylem and phloem, the cambium is present, and when the cambium is present, there will be what? You know that it will be secondary growth. When there is secondary growth, the stems, these are thicker and these are woody. These are some important features related to anatomy of these. Wood is soft. Why wood is soft? Because, can you tell me? Because xylem vessels are absent. The wood is soft. As the xylem vessels are absent, this is known as homozygous. But in case of neetum, primitive type of, that is xylem vessels are present. That's why the wood may be heterozygous one. Is it right? Important? Anything? Any doubt here? That is, I may repeat once more, that is pollination is direct. The pollen will land on micropyle. That is, external water is not at all required here. The pollen will germinate, will release male gamete. Through this, pollen tube is formed. It is known as siphonogamy. You have to remember it. That is, the male gametophyte is pollen grain, female gametophyte is endosperm, endosperm is haploid and it is present since beginning, even before fertilization. Difference is there. You know, in case of angiosperm, endosperm will be formed after fertilization. And regarding their vascular tissue system, I told you, it is just like angiosperm. It has xylem, vessels, and this phloem. Is it? That is, more clarity is required. That in case of gymnosperm, xylem vessels are absent, which are present in angiosperm. Sieve cells, that is, these are replaced by sieve tube in case of angiosperm, and there is albuminous cells are present in gymnosperm, and in case of angiosperm, these are, that is, companion cells. Right? Come to the next now, that is, we have to see some, that is, important point. You see here, you have to remember, that is Cycas, Ginkgo, and Metasequoia. These are known as living fossils. Largest ovule is of Cycas revoluta, that is sagopalm. Largest male gamete, it is of Cycas. I told you about Cycas male gamete, that here the Cycas, in case of Cycas, the pollen grain will be released at the micropyle and it will germinate, it will make the pollen tube, and here the male gametes are released. The male gametes are flagellated. Therefore, in case of Cycas, you see, in case of Cycas, there is male gametes as are flagellated. These is known as zooidogamy, and along with zooidogamy, as it is making this pollen tube, it is also known as siphonogamous. In case of Cycas, that is, largest male cone is in Cycas, largest female gamete is also of Cycas. See, very important point here is polyembryony, means formation of more than one embryo inside seed. You must be remembering here, that is, as I told you, that this is the female gametophyte or endosperm. There are so many archegonia like this, and in each archegonia there is lying one egg, right? Egg will be fused and egg will develop into zygote, and the zygote will develop into, that is, embryo. It means inside one seed there may be more than one embryo. It is called, that is, polyembryony. Is it right? So gymnosperm ovule may contain 2 to 8 archegonia, and therefore 2 to 8 ova will be there in one ovule. Each ovum in each archegonia get fertilized and it may develop into embryo. Therefore, many embryos are found in a single seed. Very important, that is polyembryony. Again, important point are discussed in detail. In gymnosperm, endosperm is, that is, haploid, right? And it is formed before fertilization. However, in case of angiosperm, this endosperm, this is diploid, and it is formed after fertilization. Very, very important point. And again, independent free-living photosynthetic gametophyte is not present in gymnosperm as well as in case of angiosperm. Now, that is already I told you, that is, such structures are present in case of bryophytes and pteridophyte, where gametophyte is independent one. See, one more point here, that is sulfur shower. Sulfur shower means what? That is, in case of a pinus, especially pine trees, that these are so many pine trees in an area. In pine trees, what is there? That is, the male cones are there. Male cones are present. That is, bunch of male cones are present. That is, at the time of, that is, reproduction, from these male cone, that is, the microsporophyll, they will become dry. That is, male cone will open, and so many pollen grains will be released in air from single, that is, male cone. So therefore, that is, in that area, that is what will be there, sulfur like powder, because the pollen grains, these are yellow in color. So sulfur shower is a phenomena related to pollination in pine tree. The pollen cones, as pollen cones mature, I told you, these microsporophyll, they will get separate and they will release, that is, male cone, that is, the male gametophyte or pollen grains in air. Large quantity of the pollen grain, which are yellow in their color, they will be released in air, and it appears yellow cloud of that is yellow olive grains. Is it right? This is important points. These are related to that is gymnosperm. There is no need to repeat all these things. If you go a little back, this already I summarized about vascular tissue and pollination. That is indirect. This is the ovule I told you. That is, this is endosperm. Many more times I have repeated. That is, this is haploid and present in ovule since beginning. These are the archegonia. Number of the archegonia may be 2 to 8, and therefore it results into polyembryony. It results into polyembryony. Is it right? In that same way, you can see that comparison. This is male corn, as I told you, an important point also. Male corn of the cycas is the largest one, and along with this male gamete is also the largest one. This is megasporophyll. Is it? This you can view. These are the diagrams given on NCERT. You can identify this cycas is having unbranched stem, and at the tip of this we have that is pinnately compound leaves, and this is pinus. This one is zinc.